what is different between the protests that are happening today compared to the many protests that we've seen in the past? There have been many protests in Iran since 1979, but why is this one different?
This one is a little different in that it's escalated, right? All of these things have been piling up. I think of it like the pressure cooker. Anybody who's used it knows it starts hissing, and there's a point at which the hissing turns into a whistle, a full-blown long whistle. That's kind of how I think about it. Like at this point, these protests are a culmination of many things. Now there's hyperinflation. People can't afford to buy food. Mass unemployment, especially among the youth. I think it's around 30% in the youth faction, which is very high for a very educated liberal society. So the despair, the economic despair and the hyperinflation, and there is weakened proxies. That's actually a big deal this time, which is different from the times before. With the Israeli strikes that happened in 2024, 2025, it severely weakened all of the proxies that Iran had abroad. And now there's been a complete regime change in Syria, so that's gone. Hamas is weakened, Hezbollah is weakened, Houthis are weakened, and there's increased US pressure and rhetoric as well. So one of the things I believe that the protesters are banking on is a strong stance with the United States based on some of the rhetoric that's coming from President Trump. I would also say that the opposition leaders are also more vocal this time from outside, and the number of deaths and the violence is much harsher than before. And anytime there is severe oppression, it's a signal that the regime is faltering. That's why you are now leaning on very harsh ways. The more harsher the regime is, the more stronger the people protest and will never forget it.
And to reiterate what you said, there are millions of people protesting. This isn't just like Tehran. This is almost every major city in Iran. There are millions of people on the street every night, far larger than any protest that we've seen in the past, likely due to some of those political events like you mentioned.